What is up, fellow questioners? There is no doubt in my mind of the wisdom you can draw from spirituality and science. Ultimately asking the same question, just different methodologies. So when science has a cool experiment that proves a spiritual fact, it is something special. In this video, we'll be exploring 5 times science has proved spiritual concepts with scientific proof of real and tangible data. This first experiment that we'll be looking at in today's video, I've been obsessed with since I've been shown by a friend. This mind-blowing experiment shows the effect that thoughts, words, and emotions have on the physical world around us. Dr. Masaru Emoto was a Japanese researcher who believed that water could hold the vibrations of thoughts and emotions. To test this theory, he started to conduct a series of experiments that involved exposing water to different words, music, and even thoughts. Dr. Emoto then froze the water and examined the crystal formed under a microscope, and the results are world-shattering. Depending on each vibrational exchange, the water would form a unique crystal. What Dr. Emoto has discovered was that the exposure to positive vibrational exchanges, such as words like love or gratitude, the water would form this intricate symmetrical crystals. With exposure of negative vibrational exchange, such as the usage of words like hate or fear, would create these disconnected and chaotic patterns. This was the same for any positive and negative vibrational exchange. For example, he also worked with music, like Beethoven's Symphony No. 9, versus aggressive musical sounds. As we can see, this idea has been held by many spiritual communities that words, thoughts, and emotions were affecting the world around us. These ideas, such as mantras and manifestation, have played a huge role into understanding the metaphysical world through spirituality. And just like the water, it seems like Dr. Emoto's experiment is mirroring this effect. The implication of these ideas together is huge for understanding of how us humans and the world around us work. One way of implementing this is understanding our bodies are made up of 60% water. As we can see through Dr. Emoto's work, water is reacting or mirroring the words, music, thoughts, and emotions. What do you think this means for your body's water content? Could positive energies of all sorts affect our physical reality and well-being? Not only that, but could negative energies affect our physical reality and well-being, as shown through the works such as the microwaved water. We can extend this experiment and the capabilities of water and its memories even further. Let's take a look at these images of water being frozen after being shown an image for about 30 seconds. As we can see, it's mirroring the image itself. And we have hundreds of examples of this. It's very reliable and replicatable. The information that water has memory is hugely impactful and influential to how we can see how the world works. Water is like Earth's internet, a form of communicating information to itself. The implication is infinite. Think about it, how everything has water or uses water. Every food you consume, to the cells and DNA in your body, to the atmosphere, and majority of the Earth is made up of it. The more you dive deeper into water, the crazier the information gets. The second experiment that we'll be looking at today is a very fascinating study that was aiming to test whether attention, consciousness, and observation could influence the movement of a robot. As a computer scientist myself, this one, to me, shows huge implications to the technological advancements the world is currently making with AI and quantum computing. In 1986, a French scientist named René Pioche conducted this experiment, usually referred to as robot chicken experiment. The experiment consisted of a small robot programmed to change direction at intervals that was determined by a random event generator across a flat surface. The control was showing that the robot would roam randomly across the entire flat surface. Then, René goes on to add newly hatched chicks. Knowing the nature of chicks and how they would imprint on the first object that moves, these chicks imprinted on the robot. But this is where the results are shocking. You would think the robot, with the random event generator, would continue as before, but it is not what happens. When the chicks were present, the robot's random movements had a significant shift towards the area near the chicks who were being held separately. This group of baby chicks and robot may have proven our attention and thoughts influence reality. This experiment is aligning with these metaphysical principles that consciousness or attention can affect reality. These chicks' desire to be near the robot they imprinted onto altered the behavior of the randomization of the robot. The implications to this is similar to the experiment of water memory, but still infinite. If animals such as baby chicks seem to have the ability to alter the physical reality, what is stopping us from thinking that we are any different? The third experiment that we're looking at involves near-death experiences, or NDEs. These are events of people who were considered clinically dead but would come back to life with vivid and life-changing memories. A scientist by the name of Dr. Sam Parnia from New York University was curious about these events and conducted this groundbreaking research into near-death experiences. In his studies called Awareness During Resuscitation Project, the researchers investigated hundreds of cases of cardiac arrest survivors to see if their experience could be verified. What these researchers found is that when considered clinically dead, the heart and brain were no longer functioning. These patients will report details and accurate descriptions of events that occurred during that time, even as far as sometimes acknowledging events that occurred in the physical world that were then verified by the doctors and nurses in the room. The levels of details in some of these reports, combined with the life-changing impact on these people, makes it really hard to disprove these stories. This could seemingly be implying what spirituality has emphasized about the nature of consciousness. Can consciousness exist outside of the body? And maybe death is not the end, but a transformation in consciousness. The fourth experiment and idea is about the placebo effect. The placebo effect has been proven to be a real effect through many scientific literatures. It's the idea that the power of belief dictates a higher percent of the result, showing this metaphysical principle that our thoughts and emotions influence the physical. And we will be looking at one of the most widely discussed placebo studies, the placebo effect in pain relief. In 2002, Dr. Fabrizio Benedetti led a research at the University of Turin in Italy to study pain relief and the role of belief in the effectiveness of treatment. In this experiment, participants was given a placebo pill, which was basically just a sugar pill for pain relief. These participants were split up into two groups. One group who were told the pill would relieve pain, and the others were told that it would have no effect. And the result was mirrored of what they were told. The group who believed in the pill had a significant reduction in pain, even though there was no active ingredient. And the other group experienced no effect of the pain relief at all. This highlights the role of belief in the placebo as it influences pain perception. The placebo effect is a great scientific effect that time and time again shows the metaphysical principles that our mind is creating our reality. It's like, why are we getting these ideas of mind over matter? We can see through many examples that there is a link between the mind and the physical reality. Implying the effectiveness of placebo, we can see that the powers of the mind shapes reality. The last experiment we'll cover in this video will be about the influence of the environment. In the early 1980s, Dr. Bruce Lipton worked with stem cells at the University of Wisconsin. During this time, he made a key discovery that the environment has the influence of how the stem cells behave other than the genes themselves, which at the time, and sometimes still now, scientists are operating with the opposite idea. Dr. Lipton realized if he had the same stem cells in different petri dishes, altering the environments would change them in different cells, such as muscle cells or bone cells, without even changing the genetic material. Dr. Lipton goes on to suggesting that the cell membrane acts more like a computer operating system, where it's processing signals from the environment and directs the cell's activity. Dr. Lipton's work contributed significantly to the field of epigenetics. This is the study of how environmental factors can affect gene expression without changing the actual DNA sequence. He showed that environmental signals like thoughts, emotions, and lifestyles can affect how our genes are expressed. This was challenging the idea of our genetic code being fixed and unchangeable. Like many of the other examples before, Dr. Lipton's work has become a bridge between science and spiritual concepts, showing at a macro level that even our thoughts, feelings, and even our environments influences our physical world, including our bodies. As the idea has created a revolution of ideas of how this can be implemented through daily lives, such as mind-body connection, environments influencing your thoughts and emotions and physical, to even epigenetics. Makes you think the infinite possibilities of your mind shaping your reality, from macro to micro. Can the environment around you affect your mind and body, such as a messy room, nature, or even feng shui? These are just 5 of the infinite amount of interesting researches in science that shows the metaphysical laws in place. As modern science and physics continue to explore these quantum ideas simultaneously as people are exploring spirituality, we'll continue to see these bridges between the two topics, because fundamentally, both aspects are about questioning the universe. That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, leave comments, questions, or topics you want me to talk about. Peace!